what I'd like to be able to do is run laundry directly off of the tank. Because I've got enough vertical, it should probably gravity feed into the washing machine, and then I don't need the pump at all, which would be ideal. Still need the generator, but at least I wouldn't need the water pump then. Alright, I think we're ready for phase one here. So from the earlier video, you remember the green hose, that's 20 feet long. It's flexible, but it's pretty stiff and it holds its shape. That's the suction hose. It's called a suction hose because you can use that to feed a pump and it won't collapse the hose under the vacuum. Almost said pressure, that would be not correct. Then, I've actually bought 2 of these blue hoses. These are what they call discharge hoses. These are 25 feet long, 2 inches by 25 feet, water transfer, lay flat reinforced PVC, male to female NPT national pipe thread, working pressure to 65 psi, temperature range 5 degrees to 150 degrees. That's good enough for out here. Very seldom gets below freezing. Alright, same kind of ends as the green hose had. Alright, so this is what it looks like when it's kind of unraveled. $30 nozzle, essentially a fired hose nozzle. Male quick disconnect. This matches what's on the valve, and my green hose has 2 female ends on it. That's what I need for hooking up to where I get the water from. So by putting a male end on here, now I can connect my blue to the green, and I run this over towards the bus, and the blue end I'm going to push under the bus. Right now the water is above the washing machine, so it'll gravity feed to there. This should work. Alright, we'll go with that. Now the washing machine, when it gets enough water, it'll start working. But what I'm planning to do this time is I'm going to do laundry as much as I can directly out of the tank in the truck. The last piece of the puzzle, so to speak, this again came from Tractor Supply. Got some reducer bushings in various flavors. Put this on the bag for now. This is 2 inch to 1 inch. This is 1 inch down to 3/4, 3/4. See, that one goes right in. This matches the garden hose. So what I can do is I can feed the garden hose, which feeds the pump, right off of this. I've got a 10-foot long piece of conduit, and I'm going to push the blue hose through. So to get this to work, I just took a bungee, wrapped it around the hose a couple times, and hooked it on the end. And we'll see, that might work. Might just be all I need. Try not to get too many kinks underneath. This is the reason I didn't buy the blue hose in the first place, is I've seen people work with this and it kinks up all just something horrible. But it is flexible. Alright, that should work. At the end of the last video I showed what this looked like. It's worse. This was not a new washer, but it was very clean when I bought it. It is not now. Yuck. Huh, alright. Okay, I don't know that this will work, but the theory is it should. Alright. I'm all for science, so if this works, great. Okay, so I got the valve on the other side open. Open, crack it slow. Alright, hose open. See, the hose is opening. It is running though. There we go. It is downhill, I just don't have a straight enough hose path right now. and I don't have enough flow to keep the hose open. Okay, that's just gravity flow. That's no pump, all right? At this rate, it's gonna take a while, but I'm gonna let that happen. Okay, if I let go of the hose, it doesn't work so good. Okay, so at the moment, I don't have power on. I'm just gonna let this thing fill because I know that I think the large was about eight holes from the top on these grate holes here. So I'm gonna let this keep filling until I get somewhere near that. Okay, I'm basically full. I'm gonna stop this for now. How about that? I filled it with no pump. That's outstanding. Okay, close this. Good. Oops, don't do that. Okay, some time has passed, but we're getting there. So what I've got, trusty skateboard wrench again. The pump connected through the junction box we used earlier with the switch right down to the main battery bank. So that part is set. All right, good to go there. And we're protected by the breaker. I've got one hose going to the washing machine through the Y adapter there. Inlet hose is now connected to a full-length garden hose. Okay, because we do not have a T or a Y, I can't run both hoses at the same time, but what I was able to do, I've got the female end, which matches what's on the end of the hose here, and I can clip this right on here, and this end comes all the way down to garden hose size. Pretty slick. These are good for cutting rigid pipe. I don't know how it's going to work on a garden hose. About that good, I guess. Kind of cool. That'll cut through PVC or whatever. Got good compound leverage. One brand new hose cut off. Perfect. A fitting that actually fits the hose as opposed to that one I did the electrical tape on the other video. As I build up these custom hoses, I'll start saving them and I can use them for different things. Alright. This will just clip onto here just like that. That's why I bought extra fittings. Now we've got water coming out the garden hose. Now, that's going to be mostly air for quite a ways, about 50 feet. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is open up this fitting to get most of the air out of this hose. Okay, that's decent flow, that should work. If it'll work at all. Can I run the inverter and power the washing machine? Because wouldn't that be nice to be able to at least do wash without the generator? Let's just see if it turns on. And the inverter's on now. I got 12.2 volts. Holy shit. That's the dream. That's the sound of a washing machine powered by solar panels. Now, it's a pretty enormous load on the battery bank, granted. I have no expectation of being able to wash a full load. Although, holding at 11.5 volts. Now, it's not going to do a full cycle, I'm pretty sure of that. At this point, the test was, would it start at all? And it did. So that's pretty cool. And that's only a 1500 watt inverter. I've got a bigger inverter if I needed it, but we don't need it right now. I think I heard the sound of silence in there. Yeah. Okay, so that faulted out, something tripped. Not a big deal. We know it works, we just don't have enough power. Yeah, that's down into the 10 point range now, 10.9, so not a big deal. Okay, so let's switch over to use the generator, so now it's going to get noisy, but that's okay. So that was just a test. Will it work? Yes, it will. Not very long. Suspected that. not really sad about that. I'm glad I tested it. It gives me a useful bit of information. Okay, you can see the water level right here. It's over 100 gallons left, and we're starting the second load. Also, I wasted some water on the first load because when I was testing the inverter, when the inverter faulted out, apparently the washer went into drain mode, so a lot of that water got lost. So I caught some of it and recycled it back into the first load again. Anyway, side note, check these guys out. I think that's blooms on the cactus there. There's a bunch of new buds there. That's kind of cool. Nature. Okay, moving on. So, first load is drying, second load in the wash. The new jeans, I figured I'd hang them up here and just let the sun dry them for a little bit before I throw them in the in the dryer. So I'll take advantage of that. I was curious how high this would lift. Doesn't seem to be having any trouble getting it up to 8 feet. It's good to know. Alright, 7:30 p.m. Sun is down a couple minutes ago. I am done doing laundry. That's a little bit more of an ordeal than it should be, but that's because everything is temporary and monkey rigged.